Last year, I attempted Tour of Brisbane. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? Getting a flat tyre within the first 20 kilometres was not on my bingo card for 2025. However, this year, we're coming back. We're coming back for revenge. So these next 10 weeks, I'm training quite hard up until the event starts. And this is exactly what I'm going to do. This is a Gong chop ride. Yes, Wollongong chop. Who the hell would have thought there's a chop ride in Wollongong? Well, turns out there is, and it's bloody new. Few pinches, few kickers, and the boys were throwing left, right good nights up every single one. None of these good nights though were strong enough to kick this big fella out the back, which actually surprised me because I thought I'd be spat straight away on this ride. And apparently I'm not in form, so can 10 weeks of hard training really prepare me for your UCI World Qualifier? Well, let's see. But for now, let's get into the chop. So tomorrow morning we're heading down to Wollongong. We're heading to Gong Chop, which is apparently quite new in the Gong. Heading down there in the morning, it's about an hour, 20-minute drive. Right now it is 11:03. My watch is about to die. Anyway, so it's 11:03 and I have to be up at 4 o'clock and I just got home. So I made our sugar order for tomorrow morning and we've made our brekkie, so we're having some oats in the morning. Someone blasted me in Jesse Quill's comments recently being like, Max is never gonna survive chop rides if he has yogurt for breakfast. So mate, we're testing it out, we'll see. So a bit of yogurt is out the window, but we are having some oats in the morning. Anyway, enough of that blabbering. We had our magnesium, we had our creatine, and we're about to go to bed, but I will catch you in the morning and hopefully I get a decent sleep, which is looking like 5 hours from now. So I'll catch you bright and early, but let's get into it. And this is the Gong Chop. All right, so we're just on our way. We're parked up. We're probably actually gonna be a couple minutes late because it's 5:57 and we're rolling up the road. But we are en route to the Gong Chop. Roads are a little bit moist. Not a bad morning. Bit wet, but morning. How you going? So yeah, this is the Gong Chop, and as you can tell, it was bloody spicy. Out the gates, they were playing no games, and I was already in the hurt locker. Heart rate monitor wasn't working on this morning, so you're gonna have to bear with me, but just know that this was a fucking hard effort. Charlie kicked here, and I was like, I'm gonna chase that. Dumb idea, because I'd already done 800 watts coming out of those lights. And when I got to the top of this hill, I actually thought, all right, I might be getting dropped here, and we're only probably 4 kilometers into the ride, if that. So I had to sit in quite a bit, and I was being a little passenger princess at the back, trying to be like the gatekeeper going, yep, roll over, yep, roll over. So this is what I mean by being the gatekeeper. So sitting at the back of the group and telling the boys when the wheel is free to roll over on. Some bunchies do this, some don't. I mean, it works well when there's a group of 8 or 10 people rolling at the front. And in this group, most people rolled. There were actually a few behind me, but I would say predominantly everyone was rolling in the bunchie, so it's pretty awesome. However, I was using this as a training ride for Tour of Brisbane, and I thought I need to save my watts and keep my normalized power low. So I wanted to mimic like what I would do in a race. I wouldn't be constantly rolling the whole time because I wanted to survive the 3 hours or whatever in the race. So I was using it and treating it like that because Tour of Brisbane this year is one of my main focuses for an event coming up in April. So this was do an hour of chop and then go do 2 hours of extra. So there's going to be a bit extra after this video, but great ride, and this chop ride was awesome. The boys all rolled turns pretty much, and it was actually one of the best chop rides I reckon I've ever been on, and it's only just started recently. So if you're ever in the Gong, give it a whirl because it is bloody brilliant. So here we are actually coming into the deciding point of the ride. You either make it up this climb or you get spat out and you'll be meeting everyone at park up by yourself. So catch you later, brother. So coming out of the little right lefter, I did some big watts and I thought the group's getting away from me here and I don't want to lose them. Yeah, probably not the best cornering from me, Jesse. Thank you, mate. But yeah, we're trying to get back on, so we're welding over to the front group, and I knew that if it was a little pinch coming up, sitting on a wheel is definitely going to help me and suck me up the climb just that little bit more. Tried to get on some wheels here and it definitely worked. So this kicked up to 9-10% and I had to put out some watts to stay with these guys. There's a few riding off into the distance, and yeah, I mean, what goes up's got to come down, right? So I do make it over this pinch, and thankfully on the other side there is a slight decline down, so I do manage to weld it back. The boys did get away from me up the top here. There were some boys behind me too, but that's okay. We ended up staying with the group. We didn't get dropped. We did a big effort up here, and I was pretty happy with the outcome. So this was the deciding factor that I'd been told about. It's really where everyone gets dropped, and then, you know, you can take a few shortcuts, but I knew none of the shortcuts because I'm not from the Gong, and I'm from up north. So yeah, the boys are getting away here. They got away, and then we come over that crest, and I'm railing it down this hill, absolutely railing it. I'm like, I'm going to catch these boys. I'm not losing this. This is not happening today. So welding over here, welding hard, putting in some work, and I knew this was my stomping ground. This is where I can dominate. It's slightly downhill. No one's really got the weight advantage that I have, so put out 380, 400 watts, and I'm guaranteed to catch them. I did about a 40-second effort there, and one of the guys from Stealth rolls over and he says, mate, I was pretty happy sitting on your wheel. And I was like, yeah, I bet you were. So I've been known to have pretty good draft sitting behind me being 6'4", but I needed to have a rest. So gave an elbow flick, and thankfully someone rolled over. And we're probably like halfway through the ride at this point and feeling really good. Legs were feeling great. And when I woke up in the morning, I was absolutely knackered. I had 4 hours sleep. Driving down to the coast, or driving down to Wollongong, sorry, I was pretty much almost falling asleep behind the wheel, so it was not looking good. And I somehow pulled it out of the bag, and legs turned on pretty early in this ride, so cannot complain. It was a pretty solid effort in the morning. We did an hour and 1 minute at 311 watts, and then the normalized power for that was about 350. I think it was 349. We averaged 43.6 kilometers per hour across this segment, and it was moving. I'm actually out of form at the moment, so my legs did better than I had expected, and 350 watts normalized for an hour, I'm going to take that. Here we actually have Charlie off the front because he did a massive squirt coming up that little cresta and tried to get away from the boys. But, I mean, he didn't know what the route was like, so a bit of a wasted effort there, Charlie. Good on you, mate. Anyway, what goes up must come down, so we are going to storm past Charlie here, and Charlie's going to have to jump back on because he attacked off the front. He's probably a bit tired, and, mate, play silly games, get silly prizes, buddy. I asked one of the guys on this ride if the rest of the ride was flat or if we had any more pinches coming up, just so I knew whether I should be saving some bickies or not. And he told me that the rest of the ride was flat. So I was putting every bicky on the table. And later in this ride, I found out that there was actually about 3 more pinches. So one of the guys came up to me and he said, hey, there's about 3 more pinches left of the ride. Just be ready because now we've turned off the main road. The pinches are coming. And I wasn't prepared for these. Honestly, I was like, oh shit, I've burnt pretty much every match I had left in my matchbox, and I'm going to have to dig deep on these. However, this was actually one of those pinches they spoke about, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, sure, the legs were hurting quite a bit coming up here, and I did feel like I could potentially get dropped, but, you know, we didn't. We made it through. So that is a positive in my books. This was one of them, and we had 2 more after this, and the next 2 bloody hurt, I'll tell ya. Those 2 were not fun. So here we go, this is the second last pinch. This one is the one that really hurt, and I had to dig quite deep here. A few of the boys are quite late to Pilates, so they're jumping out of the saddle, they're going left, right, good nights, throwing Hail Marys. So I let out a pretty big squirt to try and stay with them, and I still couldn't manage to stay with them over the crest. But thankfully, big boys roll fast down hills, so I could roll quite quickly to catch up to these geezers.
Hey, that fucking hurt, eh? Oh, fuck. That was tough. Whew. It's humid as shit down here too. It's getting crampies. Like not even an hour in. Not even an hour in.
How was it? It was a fucking mad shot. 10 out of 10. Fucking kickers. Fucking, you know, people off the front. Flying attacks. Everyone fucking rolls.
It was like you with the other one attacking though.
Yeah, well, that's everyone, isn't it?
Positive is, yeah, pretty much everyone rolled. Or at least 10, 12 people. So get the rest of your legs in the bunch. Fucking solid chop. A few pinches, but easier than the pinches we had back up north. What, like fucking Mons or Torrington at CPCC race pace. That thing gets me every time. Actually managed to hold on, so proud of myself. What, 7 AM Subway? You see, when I was next to you, I was pushing harder so you couldn't get past.
Out of your piss.
We had our coffee and now we're doing a few extras with the boys. This is meant to be like a Tour of Brisbane training ride. Got Brizzy coming up in about 10 weeks from now. Tour de Brisbane last year, I got a flat tyre halfway through, or not even halfway, maybe 20 Ks in. So it's redemption arc this year, partnering with Tour of Brisbane this year. So getting around that event, there'll be a referral code down in the description if you guys want to jump on. Early bird ends coming up on the 15th of Feb, so get around it. It's going to be a cracker. They have the sprint finish on the bridge this year, finishing on the bridge, so better sprint finish than last year. We have 4 weeks of like foundational work and then 6 weeks kind of build. My coach was like, your fitness is the lowest it's been in 6 months right now, so a few weeks of building and then 6 weeks where we've got to like kind of crack on. But there'll be a video just after this, end of the video, I'll chuck something in and it'll be my coach kind of breaking down what I'm going to be doing over the next 10 weeks. And if you want to mimic it coming into Brizzy, go ahead. But thanks Ryan for the breakdown. Doing a couple extras, trying to get 3 hours in the legs. So 2 hours post chop, did 3 hours yesterday. We are ramping up for Brizzy because I want to qualify this year and want to go to Japan. So Tour de Brisbane, I'm coming for you. Passing. A couple of bloody cows over there. Whew. Look at that geezer.
Coach now, cliff bar. Now full fucking cliff bar.
Oh, I don't know if you can see that, but on my eyebrows, it's literally dripping sweat off them. So, yeah, it's a bit humid down here today. It feels like Singapore. I don't know what is going on because Sydney was not this bad yesterday when we were out on the bike. But it was almost done. Boys are taking us back into town, back to where we parked up. Charlie and I probably got about another 40 minutes or so left to do, and then we'll head back to Sydney. See you, brother. Charlie wanted to stop at the server, so we're at the server now. Get some Reddies. Red Bull's India. As Jesse Coyle would say, grab a Red Bull. Does it work if you get a Red Bull post-ride, mate? Asking for a friend. How good. Just shy. 2 hours, 58. 32. Charlie hit 3. I don't know how. This goose obviously kept his Garmin going longer than me. Little nano brick, that is. It's like a Nokia brick phone.
Mate, this is what you buy when you want to be aero.
Anyway, that's the ride. That was good fun. Glad we came. What do you think?
That was well worth it.
Thoughts?
Would recommend.
Reviews? Gong chop out of 10.
I like a solid 8.
Versus...
Could be a bit faster. If people followed attacks, it'd be like a 10.
You hear that? Charlie wants people to follow his attacks next time. Alright, so that was the Wollongong chop, which was way better than I'd imagined. They only started the chop recently, I think maybe like a month or 2 months ago. For a bloke of my size, like a bit bigger, definitely ideal. The pinches weren't too bad. If you just didn't take a turn into the pinch, you'd be fine. So if you're 89, 90 kilos, around my weight and similar power, should be okay. Coming up to Brisbane in 10 weeks, so really trying to dial it in. Tour of Brisbane is my focus point for this year. I'm not doing peaks. Everything's going to be about Tour de Brisbane. So if you guys are keen on doing the event, it's going to be a pearler this year, so you should definitely get around it. As I mentioned earlier, there will be a referral down below. I don't get anything from that, but it's just like to help you guys out. You get 10% off, so give it a whirl. Following this, there will be a little short, maybe 2-minute video where it talks about the breakdown, what we're doing over the next 4 weeks, and then the next 6 weeks to build the foundation back up and really be the best we can for Brizzy. So if you're interested in hearing that and you kind of want to translate some of what I'm doing into your training session, there'll be a little snippet after this. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the Gong chop, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.
Hey Max, just gonna go over what we're doing for the next block leading into Tour de Brisbane. First, a bit of context. So, if we look at your performance management chart here, you can see there's been a bit of a drop in fitness since end of October. In this blue line, you've had a couple of good blocks in here, but you've had a couple of work trips, and this is another big trip and a trip to New Zealand. So, there's been a couple of down periods, and you're at your lowest fitness for the last 6 months. So, essentially, we just need to do a foundational block or a base training, whatever you want to call it, but we just need to work on your foundational tempo sub threshold. So that's what the goal is for this next period. A lot of zone 2, a lot of endurance. We've got one general intensity block, so bunch ride, which is quite high power, so we're getting a bit of VO2 threshold working there. But then the other key session is this sub threshold tempo repeats that we're doing on a Wednesday. So 315 sub threshold here, and then building the intensity a little bit up to sweet spot area. And then you can see on the weekends, we're just building volume. Low zone 2, keeping nice and easy. And then this general endurance, so a bit harder. Zone 2, zone 3 on the climbs, bunch riding. So it's random sporadic riding in these, which will build that volume. Then we have a bit of an easier week with some testing in the end. So once we get into this period at the end of Feb, you'll have done your foundational work, get to the end of Feb, do some testing, figure out where your critical power is, and then we'll start layering in some proper threshold work, some proper climbing repeats, build that VO2 from here, because we'll have about 6 to 8 weeks going in from this period into Tour of Brisbane. So yeah, next month, just focus on that foundational, building the aerobic, low-end aerobic engine, and then we'll layer on the higher intensity threshold and VO2 and anaerobic stuff that's going to be really important for Tour of Brisbane success. So yeah, that's a plan for the next month. Get stuck in and enjoy.